Thank you.
Yay. Amy, why don't you kick us off with an official welcome, and then I'll jump into some stuff.
Awesome. First of all, thank you so much for coming to help. Welcome everybody to our BCT Marches On training day to fill everybody in on how this works and how to set up your pages and how to support BCT. Ashley's got some great lingo about why folks should support BCT, as does Gabby. But yes, so thank you so much. And we're officially kicking off on Sunday, running a week-long campaign. And tonight we're training, and then Thursday we're also training. So thank you again for being here. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks everybody. So I guess I will start. The sort of, part of this training is not, and it's not all tactical. Some of it's just to sort of give you a sense of what the campaign is, what the purpose of it and what our hopes and dreams are for it. And I guess, I'll start from the very beginning of, how we kind of came to this idea. There's another organization that I used to work with that did this campaign, and they did it quite successfully back when crowdfunding wasn't quite as ubiquitous as it is now. And so I think they were, they started out with a goal of raising $10,000 in 10 days. And it was very much a pyramid scheme model, but in a good way, right? It was like get 10 friends to get 10 friends to give $10 each, right? And as that, as all of that giving kind of grew exponentially, you ended up with a very successful campaign, and they did end up raising more than $10,000. I will also note that it was their 10th anniversary and it was the year 2010. So they really leaned into that number 10, but it was great. And people really responded to that. People liked the gimmicky. And again, it was very new at that point to be fundraising online and doing this kind of peer-to-peer crowdfunding. I think, a lot of us are probably familiar with this model now. It's, everybody, if you're on Facebook, it's like ask your friends to give on behalf of your birthday, et cetera, et cetera. So I won't, I don't think I need to sort of sell the idea of crowdfunding as much as I want to sell why it's important to us and how it can work for us, right? So, in terms of how BCT came to this, we tried our first one in 2019. And I think the reason was because we had just done our gala and we knew we needed to do some fundraising. But two things: we didn't want to go back to the same people that we had just gone to that fall. And also we didn't need as much money, if you will, right? The gala is a big ticket item, whereas the crowdfunding was really an opportunity to say to people, small amounts can lead to big impact. So we're just going to go out and we're going to, I think it was really primarily led by the board, creating some pages and going out and asking their friends. And we still had that same kind of model, ask for small gifts, and they'll add up. And in that campaign, it was the spring into summer campaign, and our goal was to raise $70,000 in 7 days. And with the help of some extraordinary gifts, we actually, we did it. And so it really became, even though it was sort of implemented as a last minute campaign or fundraiser, we really looked at it we looked at the idea of it becoming something that we would do more regularly. And so the second year we did it, this was now 2020, while I think it might have been planned, the circumstances under which we did it were not at all planned. And so at that point, there was a Giving Tuesday Now that was created. Giving Tuesday is usually in November, but this one was created really in response to COVID. And for folks who are around, that BCT was not, we did not escape the impact of the pandemic, especially that early part. And so we did launch our second one. That one was the Save BCT campaign. Usually we like to stay away from language that's sort of so desperate, but in the spring of 2020, we really needed people to join in and help us, make sure we could save BCT and keep our doors open. And so we did that one. And then last year, we did our BCT Spring Back, which I think was a lovely sort of philosophical approach. After the Save BCT, it was like, we're back, help us stay back, even though, there was still a lot of uncertainty around the pandemic. But what all that means is that over these, past few years, this has really become kind of our signature campaign or fundraising opportunity for BCT. And so the goal now as we, move closer to some kind of normal is really to continue to grow the campaign. And the way that the campaign really has the most success is to have as many folks like everyone on this call creating pages and going out and asking folks to support. And so we're really leaning into the community piece of this. We are going to be doing our gala this spring as well. But I like to think that we're it's two different messages that we're sending out, all for the same good cause, of course, right? But that we can reach people across the spectrum in terms of capacity by virtue of having a gala over here and having this campaign over here. So in terms of being a volunteer for this campaign, I'd like to say that it's fairly easy, because you really aren't asking people to give a whole lot. You're just asking a whole lot of people to give a little bit. And that's, I think, an easier sell. And the big thing I would say is, there is no such thing, particularly in this campaign, as a gift too small. And we'll talk about some tactics we have for that, including like a handwritten flyer and maybe even a little coin box, right? Hopefully we've actually created those. Yay. So here we are in our 4th year. Our campaign slogan this year is BCT Marches On. So you can sort of, again, hear kind of philosophically where we're going, feeling much stronger now. And really, I think this idea of marching on. Also, I should note, we're holding our campaign in March. In previous years, it was sort of the April-May timeframe. So that's part of it, but also this idea of like, we are continuing to march forward and ensure that we are able to provide this amazing programming for our participants. So again, really leaning into the community piece. So I'm just going to sort of make a pitch here right now. If you haven't already had an opportunity to ask anyone that even 1 or 2 people to join us, they can make a very modest goal. I mean, if one person gets 5 gifts of $10, that's $50 more. And imagine if we had 20 people doing that, right? Like, it's all about the kind of exponential possibility. So the more people we can get doing even just the smallest amount is really what's going to allow the campaign to be successful. And with that, I also, encourage us to look within our own community. Like, if there are, fellow classmates from years past, right? Or fellow parents, whether it's, you're in the program now, or people who were there when your kids were here. Just thinking about folks for whom this will continue to resonate. Invite them to join you in it. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. Ask them to help you raise $100. Maybe they'll be like, no, I don't want to, but I'll give you $100. Maybe that happens, right? But we can't do it if we don't ask people, if we don't invite them to join us. So I encourage you to do that. And then I think, and then sort of the last thing I'll say is that as we continue to do this, our goal is really to make it successful and make it recognizable. And so, thank you all for being here, for signing up for this year. I know that we are going to be successful because you're here doing the work, and that's already a success for us. And with that, hopefully we will meet our goal. Now, because we're having the gala shortly hereafter, as opposed to several months away, we did reduce the goal, as I mentioned in the previous years when we were able to get that 70K or so. It was because of extraordinary gift, but I do want us to definitely, feel successful in this. And so I shouldn't say Amy also was very clear about these numbers, right? So I think we're going to look at $40,000 this year, raised over the course of 7 days. That is more or less in keeping with what we've done in the past without those extraordinary gifts. And so I think it's absolutely doable. Again, the work here is just for us to make sure that we're asking and make sure that we are getting other folks to ask. So in terms of the campaign, the goal is to raise $40,000 in 7 days. The campaign, what I like about the 7 days that works is that it has the built-in urgency. Nobody has to commit for too much time. Like, it's just 1 week. And yes, for 1 week, we are going to be in everybody's face pretty aggressively for 1 week, but then that's it. So we've got lots of content to share out that BCT is creating under the wonderfully talented eye of Ashley and the inspired mind of Amy. So the idea here is that, the content is created for you, the messaging is created for you. It's really our work as volunteers on the campaign is to just get the message out there, to just push the message out there. And I'll shortly turn it over to Ashley, maybe to talk to us a little bit about what the actual calendar of of content, I guess, is going to be. But again, just reiterating that you don't really have to invent the wheel. You know, to the extent that anything that you send out can have a personalized message attached to it, like, this is why I care about BCT. It means this to me for this reason, but also watch this video of cute kids, right? Anytime you can add your own personal message to it, that does make it more compelling. But we're also going to make sure that you kind of have the polish that you need in terms of presenting the actual case for support and the, you know, description of the program. In terms of how, you know, how to do all of this, the first, of course, is to build a page. And then not only using that page, but also some of the other online tools we have, right? So there'll be social media posts, there will be e-blasts that are going out. I love an e-blast because all you got to do is forward it, right? Same thing with the social media. You can just share, you can even cut and paste the picture if you want, whatever you need to do. But again, there's not a lot of effort on your part in terms of creating content. The real work is just in sharing it out. In terms of, sorry, just making sure I'm not missing anything in my notes. So, and you know, so two things in terms of the success of the campaign. One, of course, is the more people that we have asking, the better. And the second, again, I'll reiterate, is this asking for small gifts. Every gift, no gift too small, right? Or the only gift too small is no gift at all. So make sure that you, you know, you continue to spread that in the messaging, and think about that as you think about who you're going to invite to support. This is not the campaign where you think about the person you know who has the most money. This is the person, you know, who you would probably never ask for more than $5 from, maybe, right? And whatever it is, you know, you don't have to think, so you don't have to dream big in terms of capacity. We just want to dream big in terms of the breadth and number of people that we're asking. To do that, there is one thing we ask. We ask that every volunteer on their own page make their own gift. You don't, again, it can be nominal, it doesn't matter, but you know, one of the best rules of fundraising, right, is that instead of asking somebody to do something, you're inviting them to join you. And of course, the only way they can join you is if you've actually made your own gift. So if you got to throw a $5 gift up there, that's all, that's fine, right? We just want to make sure that when we send somebody to your page, that they actually see that you've made a gift too. Other ways to support, of course, is again to help us recruit more ambassadors. So as you're asking folks to support, please consider asking them to also sign up for, help us with the campaign. Or not everybody is going to want to create a page and, create an actual fundraising goal. But another thing is to just ask people, hey, do you mind posting this on your Instagram story? Do you mind posting this on your Facebook? Would you mind sharing this with a couple of friends in your book group, forward the email to them, whatever that might look like. So 3 ways to support it. 1, make your own gift. 2, encourage other people to give and or become their own kind of fundraising volunteer, or just ask them to help spread the word. That we're sort of now, just as I'm looking at my notes, I know we're a little compressed in terms of the training. Like we're training right now, and we're actually kicking off this next weekend. So we're actually sort of asking folks to do kind of a lot in a small amount of time, which is to complete your page, and also, if you haven't already, to start spreading the word and asking people to to join us. Another thing I encourage folks to do is to start letting people know that you're doing this now. Let them know that you're part of a campaign that kicks off on Sunday. You're going to be reaching out to them for their support. You can quote unquote apologize in advance for the fact that it's going to be all over your Facebook or your Instagram page. But even that sort of apologizing in advance is really just some lead up marketing for it, right? So let people know what's coming. The idea really is that the more that we saturate them with information and with appeals, the more compelled they'll be to give, or maybe, we just wear them down with cuteness, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. But that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do for the next week. So I think in terms of some of the tactical stuff, I will turn it over to Amy and Ashley to talk to us, I think first about, I think maybe it's more helpful, Ashley, to walk us through what the communications plan will be, like what folks can expect to see and know to share. And then Amy, we can turn over to the even more tactical around building a page. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Ashley, do you want to share your screen, or are you just going to speak?
I'm just gonna speak for now, because I feel like it might get boring and we're pressed for time. But I will share all the content with you guys. You're gonna have everything that you need in your inbox. We're going to be sending you daily emails once the week kicks off. You'll get the graphics that you need. And I will shoot out this week, like the rundown of what the themes are in a campaign. I can explain to you guys what some of the themes will be. So you'll be able to share, like one of our themes will be impact. So you'll be able to communicate through the graphics and the messaging that we share with you guys, with your audience, why you should give. It'll be impact showing like our numbers, what we've been able to accomplish this year, and what success means for our students. We're also going to talk about diversity and equity inclusion when it comes to students of color, and that we serve a large population of scholarship students as well. So we have content about that. We're also going to be featuring content about our alumni, so students that have, or no longer students, people who were previously students of BCT. So these are some of the themes. Yeah, we've got a little bit of everything. What are we pointing at? Oh, there's
Toby and Violet are both alumni.
Oh, okay, yes. And then we have a challenge day. I think we are going to do a challenge day one day where we have a match that's a large grant gift that's being contributed, and throughout the day we're going to have a variety of graphics. So we're telling people, donate X amount of donations by 6 a.m. This unlocks $5,000. Donate X amount of donations by 5 p.m. That unlocks $10,000 more dollars. Because our focus here really is the number of donations and not the amount itself. I mean, we do hope to make our goal, but it is about like how many donations that we're getting. So these are kind of like a few of the main. Oh, another really popular in terms of its really important messaging is talking about how trauma impacts, like how our students who have been through trauma, how arts affects and helps our students who've been through trauma. And we have video content for you guys, so it's not going to just be graphics. Our graphics are nice, but we will also have a variety of videos, and we'll be sending those to you every day with the messaging. And feel free to use your own messaging, but we're going to just package everything for you so that it's super easy to share things out every single day. And I'm trying to think what else. That's the most. Oh, prizes. Okay, yeah. So we are in the process of collecting a variety of raffles so that we can provide prizes for both you guys and our donors. Last year we had like raffles to like restaurants. I think what were some of the raffles we had last year, Amy? I don't remember.
Oh, it was Chipotle, 25 gift cards, Chipotle, Starbucks, Farron's Candy Store, Community Bookstore. So local businesses, chains.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Chipotle? I love Chipotle.
That's why we got a gift card to Chipotle.
Yeah. But we also have for our youth fundraisers. So anyone 18 and under, we have 2 big prizes. The second place prize is an ice cream party. And then the first place prize is a Broadway experience with a Disney Broadway actor. And also, I believe, a lunch or dinner at a local restaurant in the theater district. Amy reminds me.
Hold fast. Yes.
Hold fast. Yeah. So we have pretty great prizes, and we're still racking them up. So it should be fun to see like who wins, and everybody will get featured as well. Amy's going to make sure that every single fundraiser's page gets featured on our social media. So you'll get a shout out one day on the page, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it should be really fun. It's going to be super easy. You're also free to be creative and create your own content if you want to record yourself talking about why you love BCT, why you've had like a great experience, but we want to just provide you with all the graphics that you need to make it easy if you don't have the time in your schedule to do those things. So I think that's pretty much it. And I will, again, you guys will get a rundown email of the communications plan, the different theme days, as well as the graphics every day.
And actually, I was just about to drop in the chat, but are we, those things will also be put into the toolkit, yes?
Yeah, that's right. We'll have a toolkit folder that'll make everything easier. Yeah.
I shared it now. Some of the stuff is already in there, including, what to expect from the campaign, the mission statement, talking points, and some sample text. And so, as Ashley said, we'll continue to throw some stuff in there, all the material that'll help you, including additional graphics, video links, etc.
Yay. Thank you, Gabby.
I'm also going to take you down a rabbit hole right now if you want to see. So, and first, Toby, I got to shout you out for the lovely catchphrase from last year, putting the fun back in fundraising. I was like, oh, I feel like you're a professional fundraiser. You have lots of experience with that. I'm going to share my screen because, why am I sharing my screen? Because I want to show you. So building a page, I got to move my guys over here. Okay, so you go to our website, you come over here to support BCT, and then you go to fundraise for BCT. And And you'll see here, this is the link here to go straight to fundraising, but on this page, it also tells about these different aspects of the campaign. What is it? Who is it? We need you. How does it work? You're here tonight at this training session. When is it? March 27th to April 2nd. So it starts on Sunday, and we're kicking it off with a half-hour happy hour. Here are our prizes. The Inside Broadway experience, the donor wanted it to go to a child, to a youth fundraiser. So Toby and Violet, you're eligible because I feel like you still count as youth. But the lunch and the experience with the Broadway star, ice cream party. The kids are more excited about the ice cream party than they are about the Inside Broadway experience. And now down here is this rabbit hole of links that you can use for your personal fundraising page. The mission statement, photos, videos, talking points, BCT marches on, what to expect. I think this overlaps a lot with the toolkit. But meanwhile, if we click on actually making your page, you come here, you can call your page whatever you want to call it. Amy's page, sample, and I'm doing it for other. And then over here, we put different YouTube links for different messaging. So there's one I made about our weekend classes, one about joy in the time of COVID. There's this one about trauma. Here's the Viola Davis interview. Here's the Jelani Aladdin interview. So, or you can make your own video and then put the link here. You put the deadline. So the campaign ends on April 2nd. You put your goal. So I want to make $10,000 or whatever that is, $100,000. And then your own story. Now we have sample text here that you can click on. Theater changes lives. We create a family of safe space. Representation matters. 1 in 3 students at BCT live with housing insecurity. So some stats. Finding their people. So you can use all that, or you can make up your own story about, let me go back. So now, and then you click create a page, and then you have your page, and then you can share it out. So, but what I want to do now is show you, we have cute little Noah who just set up his page yesterday. And it's raised us $145, and he's so excited. So let's see. So Nancy, you still have your page active.
I do?
Yes.
Oh, can I use the same page?
You can.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think when you log in, you can edit. And so you can increase your goal. You could actually give your, you could update the message.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's easy. Here's Melanie's. It's 2 different versions of Melanie's, so we'll figure out which one you want to use. BCT Pride. This was the one I thought was so, but actually, let me get the sound on. Let me reshare because the sound's so, I have sharing sound. Okay. So here's little Noah.
I love BCT. It makes me feel proud of who I am.
This was a quick little message. And then he says, BCT is important to me because it has helped me a lot, helped me to get more exercise, helped me to use my voice more, helped me to find a place where I fit in. I have a big imagination and the grown-ups never make me feel bad when I'm having fun. BCT is one of my special places in the whole world. Please support BCT. It's a great place. And so, and then what I've discovered is that you can see your donors from a laptop, but not from a phone. So if you only have access to a phone and you're looking to see who your donors are, you can, shoot me a message and I can get bring up your donor list. But otherwise, the way to look at it is on a laptop.
Okay.
So that's Any questions about that? Rabbit holes. So there's a couple different places. Yeah, not only are the links on this page, the Fundraise for BCT page in terms of content down here, but it's also on the Create a Personal page. Here's mission, text, video links, and then, oh, and pictures. Let me see, I got to find one of Toby in a cockroach outfit. Is Toby still here? Because I know I've got Toby as a cockroach.
You're going to have to go very, very far back for that.
I was like, I know there's one of you it has a cockroach. I did put up pictures from the December, thinking that we'd have some of those kids. Alumni, let me see. I know we had Ada last time, so I found some pictures of her. So now, Violet, I'm going to find pictures of you. So stay tuned.
Do we want to like ask if anyone has any questions so far, or is everything clear?
I wanted to do, I guess, a quick, let's call it quick, sort of art of the ask. I know Nancy and Amy in particular have heard this a gazillion times, but I think it's always worth, it bears repeating, particularly for some folks who are maybe doing this for the first time. So this is like really going to be, I'm going to speed race through it. But the point is, or the goal really is to help you be comfortable with making the fundraising ask, right? Because I know sometimes people can be intimidated by that. And I think, I've already said earlier, like, remember that you're not just asking somebody, to do you a favor or to come up off of a lot of money. You're just really inviting them to support this thing that you care about. And presumably, as you're asking and thinking about who you're going to ask, certainly ask people who you think who will respond positively. So, the joke I used in our last meeting was, if your neighbor is like a very cranky person who doesn't like kids, maybe they're not likely to give to BCT, right? But there may be a lot of people in your circle or your network of influence that that may very well be motivated by our mission and our work. And one of the ways, or additional way to think about that, is to think bigger than just like the little kids on the stage, right? There are all these different things that BCT touches and impacts, right? People who are really interested in just sort of youth after school programs, people who are interested in making sure that there's arts access for children in Brooklyn specifically, people who may be interested in musical theater, people who are, interested specifically in kids in the Gowanus area, right? It could be anything. So when you think about like who you want to ask, you may have an aunt out in California who like danced when she was in college that maybe you never thought about again. And now it's like, oh, wait, Angela will totally give me money for my campaign. There may be a friend from high school, or a friend from college, or, another cousin. Maybe your mom's in a book club and her, one of the members of the book club really loves theater. It's, think really broadly about who and how they might connect to BCT. And again, you're not asking them to give you $10,000 to invest in a new program. It's just like, it's a really cool program. I think you care because you care about this, right? And so please, consider supporting me. Another way is to think about like where you have access to other networks that again might not come to you immediately if you think like, who would I ask? But like if you are in a book club, if you were a member of a sorority or a fraternity, if you go to a church or synagogue or any other faith place regularly, maybe there's community there. Think really broadly. If you ask yourself who I think I know that will give to BCT, your list will be this small. If you think broadly, like who do I know and how can I think of a reason that they might be interested in BCT, I think your imagination will begin to run a little wilder, right? So another thing that on that same note is we do have in the toolkit talking points, or sort of BCT facts and stats. So another thing that I like to talk about is the sort of the art of persuasion and how you use that to target your ask. So as you think about, I'm going to be a little stereotypical here, except maybe I'll reverse some gender just for the sake of it, right? So let's say your mom is the head of a hedge fund, right? And let's say your great uncle was a kindergarten teacher and he's retired, right? And let's say your youngest sister is an aspiring lawyer. So I chose those three things for very specific reasons. Aristotle, He's the one who came up with this philosophy, or is credited, right? This philosophy of the art of persuasion. And there are three key ways that he's sort of categorized how people are going to respond to you. So the first one is, let's talk about I forgot, who did I say used to teach kindergarten? Your great uncle?
The great uncle, yes.
Great uncle. So great uncle who used to teach kindergarten. You know, he's been retired for 20 years, but he really, really loved the kids, loved seeing them thrive. He's the one who is probably going to be really motivated by those videos of those little kids saying why BCT matters to me. So thinking about what's going to compel him, that's the message you might want to send him. But that might be different than your mom, who works over at the hedge fund. Your mom is all about return on investment. She wants to know that, you know, that there's something actually happening with this money. How many kids is that organization serving every year, right? What are they doing to move the needle? So maybe then some of those statistics that are on that sheet, they'll be a little more compelling to her when we say how many kids we're serving, how many scholarships we're giving, how many kids wouldn't be able to access our program otherwise, right? The facts and stats person. So you might send a different video to her, or a different kind of message to her. And then there's the person who's like, oh yes, the aspiring lawyer. An aspiring lawyer, let's say she's an aspiring civil rights lawyer, right? And she's really like angry at inequity. You know, she's going to be like, hey, what is this organization doing? Again, this idea of leveling the playing field. And so then maybe you want to talk about more about those kids who would not have this access, who would never be able to have this opportunity if it weren't for the free or reduced cost programming that BCT offers. So the point here is to be thoughtful and creative. Not only being expansive about who you think you might ask, but being thoughtful and creative about how you're going to ask them. And that's the way in which all of these assets that we have can really be leveraged. So don't be overwhelmed, but rather inspired, right? Like this video might speak to this person better, whereas this e-blast might speak to this person better. And so you can think about that as you see the stuff in advance, as you think about what days and what ways you want to reach out to people. We do encourage you to make sure that you're doing this in a way that's comfortable to you while also being effective in terms of fundraising. So if you really aren't comfortable sharing stuff every single day, maybe decide for yourself you're going to do it on Sunday, the kickoff day, Tuesday, Thursday, and then, you know, maybe one last push Friday or Saturday, something like that. That's totally fine. But again, encourage you to kind of be thoughtful and strategic about it. And again, matching sort of the ask to the people that you're sharing with. And that's just sort of on the, you know, the personalized targeted appeals that you do. In general, we do hope that you will continue to share out, especially on social media, just the stuff that we're posting so that it can continue to get more traction. I think that is, I did say quick and dirty. I think that is the quickest and dirtiest I've ever done it, but happy to answer any questions or, you know, respond to any thoughts.
What about Vivian came home with the little purple boxes. That's for like the cash donations, I assume, right?
Yes.
Precisely.
So yeah, so the kids were, or some of our young people are saying that collecting donations by credit card was challenging if you're 7. So if it's easier to just collect cash donations, then there's also a little sheet to just write down, you know, who is making the donation, how much they're giving, so that we can track it. And because the prizes are all based on how many donations are received. So if Vivian gets, you know, 10 people to fill in their names and each gives, you know, a quarter or whatever, then we'll have 10 people that will credit to her fundraising campaign. Yeah, and they're tiny boxes. They're like this big.
When would she give that in?
At the end of the week. So the campaign is from Sunday, March 27th to Saturday, April 2nd. So the next time we see her at BCT. But she could also, if you could email us and let us know how many donations that she has gotten so that we can do the tally, then that would be great.
Yeah. Yay.
That's a really good point. Maybe we'll send out.
Oh, I was just going to say, is it Tati? How do we say your name?
Tati.
Tati.
Yes, I know I came here really late, so I'm trying not to ask questions that I'm sure have been answered before. So I see the link and I'll go through all the materials and all the stuff that you shared. And I'm sorry I was here so late, as I was at a work meeting I couldn't get out of earlier.
Well, thank you for coming.
Recorded it. Yeah, thank you for coming. And we recorded it, so you can definitely take a look. And I think if we get enough folks signed up again, we'll do it again on Thursday if that's
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you're welcome to email questions, and we're happy to answer them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yay.
Ashley, did you have something else?
Oh no. I was gonna say that might be a good thing to for us to shoot out. Make it like the point about when the boxes should be returned or emailing a tally, just so everyone knows. So I'll send something out about that.
Great, excellent. Yeah, because that would be to all the kids that are in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yay.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody.
Are you guys ready to raise some money? No, I'm just kidding.
We already have pages in the works, so it's great. So yeah, we're kicking off on Sunday at 5:30. That'll just be like a little rah rah rah. Here we go, and we can fill in more details about the raffle prizes and the challenge day and all of that sort of thing. So our
Your
theme.
juice box, or or sparkling grape juice, and we'll
Yeah.
do our happy half hour.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a great